Welcome to the Moxi Skates YouTube channel. My name is Estrogen, and today we're going to be breaking in our roller skates. There's a very buttery slipper feeling model called the Lolly that really requires absolutely no break-in period. But you may notice a tag that came on your jack boots, and you may also feel like you want to break in your bunnies because those two models are a bit stiffer, made for more ankle support. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is breaking in our roller skates. Breaking in recreational roller skates like the Moxi skates is a lot easier than breaking in figure roller skates or figure ice skates. There's way less break-in period. You probably only need 1 or 2 skates until you feel pretty comfortable and at home in your new roller skates. So first we're going to, wow. That was a skater in the wild that just passed me, like a butterfly. I just lost what I was talking. Okay, no, back to it. First, what we're going to do is make sure that you're watching this video without wearing roller skates. I want you to just roll out your ankles and stretch out your feet. You can flex and point as many times as it takes until you feel like your feet are awake and really strong and you know how to move all the little bones and tendons that make up your feet. And you're gonna alternate in them right and left, and then you're just gonna bend your toes and flex your toes. And we're just waking up our feet right now. You can find these socks on ModCloth. All right, then I want you to put your foot in your hand, and I want you to give your feet a nice massage. You can massage your heel, massage your ball, bend your toes with your fingers, squish your big toe. Bend your toes back, squeeze them forward, and then switch. Then I want you to spell out your name plus roller skates with your feet. So I'm gonna go E-S-T-R-O. I'm gonna use cursive letters too. J-E-N-R-O-L-L-E-R-S. Are you gonna add motion graphics to this later? T-E-S exclamation points with hearts. Okay, that's step 1. Make sure that your feet are awake and sensitive and ready to break in some skates. The reason why we say that you should break in your jack boots is because there was a large crossover of derby skaters that had low top skates with less ankle support crossing over into the skate parks, and these skates are made for the skate parks. They're not made specifically for artistic skating, though they can be used for artistic skating, but the stiffeners and tendon padding inside the jack boots are flexible enough for skate park skating. However, they are stiffer than derby boots. So when you're on a low top boot with less ankle support, you tend to really get beefy feet and your feet become really strong. And then when you get something that has ankle support, you almost feel, well, I felt a little bit of a bite back. Like I had to push more into the skate in order for the flexibility of the skate to react the same way that I'm used to in my other lower top skates. So that's why we ask everyone to break in their high tops, not so much because they're made so much stiffer, but because where they're coming from, they may be coming from a less ankle supportive boot. So what you want to do is put your skates on your feet and lace them all the way to the top. You want to start at the bottom and lace them up. That's the lace locker. I always go over and under. And I always double bow so they don't go untied. So when you're skating, you're going to create this crease, and you can see the natural crease right here. That's what we're aiming to get accomplished while we're breaking in our skates. We're then breaking in the crease of our ankle. I love the squish of these boots. It's just like a hug for your feet. Make sure the tongue's straightened. All right, so before we put our wheels on the ground, we're going to flex and point our skates to try and get a natural crease. Oh, it's so hard. I feel like I'm lifting weights for my ankles. All right, and then there are other parts of your skates that you're going to want to break in that are not the boot. Those are your trucks, and you can find out how to adjust your trucks on the Moxi unboxing video. Just know that when you're coming from another pair of skates to a new pair of skates, they may feel like they're wanting to go in one direction, and that's because you will feel a difference in a skate if the wheelbase, the front axle and back axle are either shorter or longer, or you're taking a different size plate, or you're changing the plate size, or the position of the plate is just a little millimeter off than where the plate was positioned in the center of your last outsole. So because the plates are in a different position, or maybe the plates are just completely different or even a different size, you're going to feel like the skates are going to the leaning and turning ratio of where the skates are directing your body are going to feel a little different than your last pair. So that's another reason why you want to break in your skates. And just breaking in your skates is really not doing anything too difficult while you have new skates on. Just doing very simple, small maneuvers to get yourself acquainted with your new skates. Shake your skates and make sure that there's no wiggle. If you hear any wiggle in your wheels, that means that the wheels are too loose on your axles, and you're going to want to tighten them up a little bit. The front trucks should be a little bit looser than the back trucks, and some people like loose trucks, some people like tight. I prefer mine very tight. But just know that the way that they lean and turn is going to feel a little different because they're brand new skates, and you're going to want to adjust your trucks when you get your skates. Make sure that your wheels are tightened, make sure that your toe stops are on there really good before you stand up and break in your boots. Ah! All right, so I'm standing up, and I'm just gonna do some knee circles. What this is going to do is to get my ankles pushing against the quarters of the boot. Okay, and I'm just gonna bend my knees forward and I'm gonna squat down. And I'm trying to get a crease in my boot. All right, I feel pretty comfortable in them. All right, now I'm going to take it out to the smooth concrete. Okay, and I'm just going to rock my body weight right and left. Feel how they maneuver straight. Okay, I'm gonna glide forward and bend my knees. And then I'm just gonna take real simple pushes, strides, to get used to the skates. They feel pretty good. I'm really focusing on just bending my ankles here. I'm not doing a whole lot of toe flicking. So I'm not pushing fully on a stride throughout the balls of my feet. I'm just kind of pushing and rolling forward. All right, then I'm gonna start pushing throughout the ball of my foot and pointing my toe with each stride. Skates, you don't want to do any big jumps at first. You don't want to be throwing 360s. Probably don't want to be skating ramps either. You just kind of want to get used to how the new skates feel. You might want to find an area like this with a big turn or a tennis court where you can practice some crossovers. So you're gonna skate and cross over and really follow through with the ball of your foot flick. Then try some backwards. And backwards crossing. All right. And just really take it easy. Get used to how they feel. Make sure that you have your tool. If the trucks seem like they're wanting to go any which direction, just stop and then adjust your trucks. And yeah, those were all the tips that I've got for breaking in your skates. Anyone have any questions? How do you backward skate? Janny, it's all in the booty. Check out my backward skating tutorial on this channel. You really want to do alternating booty cheek over alternating heel. Yeah, the way that your plates are mounted is really going to change the the leaning and turning ratio of your trucks. So it's it can be really helpful to loosen your trucks because then it's not requiring so much of a reliance on your bushings. So if you have cheaper skates, you probably have a really cheap urethane or a cheaper bushing that isn't very reactive. When you have a really nice skate with a polyurethane bushing, the bushings are the squishy pieces that sandwich the hanger of your truck. When those are quality, then the way that your push resistance, the resistance of your the hanger on the bushing, it snaps back and it reacts better, which means it's going to be more responsive when you're pushing and leaning and turning. A-Bomb is very knowledgeable, so thank you so much, A-Bomb, for answering everybody in the chat. Jack in the Making will keep this we'll keep this live up so that you can see how I laced up. Guess or Jess M, I would suggest if you want to learn how to stand, I would just make sure that you have something like a countertop to hold on to, wear a helmet. You also want to stand not in rolling direction like train tracks. You want to stand in a V or an A or in a T position. All right, anybody else have any more questions? We suggest that you break in your skates. If you're used to derby skates without ankle support and a low top, then without any heel, we suggest that you break in your skates for 8 hours before you take them to the skate park. It's really difficult, Ara, to break in skates without actually using the skates. So some of the exercises that I use will get you started and it'll make your feet more ready to break in your skates, but you're gonna wanna put weight into your wheels so that you can get that ankle crease. Harley Kelly says, I went with the Jacks for the extra ankle support and because I'm obsessed. And I know it's a forever hobby I wanted to invest in. I don't know if that helps. That's exactly the way I felt. Like, I just knew that I love rolling and gliding so much that I wanted to get like the best skates that you could buy when I first started. And I learned a lot along the way, so much so that I started wanting to make skates. But a good quality pair of roller skates is going to last you a really long time, and it's worth the investment if you know right off the bat that you're going to be skating for a long time. But if you're just trying it out, have no shame. Like, try out different brands, check them out before you really decide that you love it as a hobby and then you want a better pair. I would say that the lollies last 8 months to 3 years if you're skating regularly. And I mean 8 months if you're skating daily. No, there's no longer a roller skate shop in Venice. There's rental shops, but there are no skate shops here. There's a lot of things that are closed right now, closed and boarded up. There's no restaurants open. Most of the stuff on Venice is closed up. Thank you so much, Emma. Inlines are really fun too. You know, it's just really fun to learn to roll and glide. How do you know when a skate is toast? Kelsey, that's a really great question. I would say I know when my skates are toast if I start to feel any pain in my ankles. So I'm like pretty hard on my skates and I always go for ankle support. If I start to feel like, oh, they're just not supporting me anymore, then I get new skates. Tightening up your skates all the way to the top also will really help to give you ankle support. I don't know if you've an ankle brace has laces or Velcro, and the boot skates work like an ankle brace so long as you tighten them. Yes, an 11.5 should fit a 10. Yes, I would suggest any of our skates for beginners. They're all high quality. All right, so we're getting into a couple of different topics. Does anybody else have any questions about breaking in your skates? If you want to if you just got your skates and you want to keep them very clean, I just saw a question about cleaning them. You're going to want to spray them with Scotchgard. All the leather is treated, pre-treated, but you're gonna want to continuing to spray them with Scotchgard and spraying them again with Scotchgard is going to keep them much cleaner. If skates feel like they fit as soon as you put them on, would you recommend sizing down? No, your skate should feel, so long as you can wiggle your toes and your heel isn't moving or lifting very much. My heels tend to go to a point and I can always wiggle my heels a little bit. The ball of the foot is your control center in your skate stride. So you're gonna want the ball of your foot snug. You don't want the ball of your foot, the front of your foot, to be able to lift too far away from the boot. But you should be able to wiggle your toes. And yes, last question, the sweatshirt will be for sale in the future, I believe this Friday. We're gonna have actually a whole new line of clothing that's going to be available on our website. All right, those are all my tips for breaking in your skates. If you have any more questions about breaking your skates, there's no reason why we shouldn't make another one of these videos. So go ahead and throw those in the comments after we post the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video or found it useful, please subscribe to our channel. And I like you, and I would love it if you liked me back. And thanks very much for joining me in Venice Beach today. I love you. I love you for skating. Thank you so much for skating, and thank you so much for tuning in.